This is the view from outside my home, and it is snowing, and it's a cold day in Chicago. Perfect day to make some wintertime beef stew. Hey superstars, it's your girl Malika, aka Ms. Magic. Today we are making Chicago Blizzard beef stew, and we're gonna make it with our very own Aldi's Winking Owl red wine. So if you'd like to see how I make this and you're interested, go ahead and hit that subscribe for me, smash that like, and sit back, relax, and let's get started on making this beef stew for our chilly Chicago winter. Okay, so today what we're going to need is 3 pounds of beef, which I'm going to chop up into beef stew meat. Okay, then you need your flour for dusting. You're going to need 4 to 8 cups of beef broth, crushed tomatoes, tomato paste. I have the seasonings are going to be thyme, bay leaf, garlic pepper, and we're going to use that when we season our meat, basil, and parsley. Then you're going to need about 3 to 4 carrots, a whole big chopped onion. And then we're going to have maybe 3 to 4 potatoes, which we're going to chop those up right now. Then you got your red wine that you're going to need, balsamic vinegar, and then you need frozen corn and frozen peas. And we're going to do all of this in our pressure cooker. I say Instapot, but I have a Fabware pressure cooker, and that's what we're going to do it in. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is dredge our meat. We are going to first season it with the garlic pepper. Okay, so first we're going to take our garlic pepper, and we're going to season our meat with it. Make sure you get it nice and seasoned. Okay. Then we're going to get a plastic baggie. Place all the meat in the plastic baggie. You're going to take some flour, and then you're going to dredge your meat. And let's take it out. Nice and good. Nice and good. Okay, so now once your meat is dredged, you're going to go ahead and put your Instapot on the saute. On mine it is all the way up to 9, but whatever pressure cooker you have, make sure it is on saute. So we're going to just start it up right there. Alright, so next we're going to drizzle the pot with olive oil. Just a couple of drizzles will do it, and this is so that we can start searing our meat. Alright, so once we dredged the meat and we've warmed up our Instapot for about 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and start browning our meat. You don't want to overcrowd it, so you're just going to Make sure the bottom layer has meat in it. It's gooey because it's been sitting in flour, but that's cool. So they'll probably do this in about 3 batches. As you see, you're just searing your meat in the pan. In the pot, I should say. And we're gonna let that brown on one side, and then we'll flip it over. Alright, so we're gonna turn this meat over. It's browned on one side. Turn all of the meat over so it can brown on the other side. And then we're gonna let that brown for another maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, so now the meat is brown. We are going to, I already transferred one, we're going to do another one. And go ahead and put it to the side so we can brown our last bit. How nice and thick it is. That's from the gravy. I mean, that's from the, not the gravy. That's from the flour that's going to make the gravy for your beef stew. And we're gonna go ahead and brown our last batch. A little bit. And once we brown our last batch of meat, we'll be able to saute the onions and the carrots. Okay, so once we take the last batch of meat out, we are ready to saute our onions. If your time ran out on your slow cooker, then you know, just turn it back on, saute again. My thing goes, you can put a little bit more olive oil in there, goes 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, you got to start it back over. Okay, so you're going to take your 1 whole onion that you chopped up and go ahead and put it in. And we're going to saute these onions until they become translucent. So that'll be about maybe 4 or 5 minutes. We'll be back. All right, once your onions have got nice and translucent, you're going to take your carrots and add your carrots in. Now you're going to take your balsamic vinegar. You see that? Your balsamic vinegar, and you're just going to take a dash, put a dash in. A couple of dashes. Stir it around. And that's when you're going to take your cup of wine. I'm just using regular old Aldi's wine. It's Winking Owl wine. And it is the California Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a red wine. You don't have, it does not have to be expensive. And we're gonna add a cup to our wine, to our beef stew. All right, so we're gonna add a cup of the wine. Go ahead, stir that up. Real good. And then after that, we're gonna go ahead and add the crushed tomatoes. And I didn't tell y'all what ounce I used. I used a, what ounce is this? I think it's a 28 ounce of crushed tomatoes. If you don't like tomatoes in your beef stew, you do not have to add it. You can totally just have it brown, but we like to add a little crushed tomatoes, tomato sauce, whatever. And then I may add some tomato paste later to thicken it up. So get that stirred in all good. And after that, we're gonna go ahead and add our beef broth to the container. All right. So I said 4 to 8. I'm definitely going to use 8. I might even use 12, depending, because I had to make a lot. Because we like leftovers, and my husband works outside, so he takes it to work. So we need that. I'm going to go ahead and add 4 more cups. Right there. I'm going to stir that up real good. I'm definitely probably going to add some more. But first we're going to add our potatoes. Now we're going to add our potatoes to the mix. Okay. Stir that up real good. And we're going to add a little basil, maybe like 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then you're going to add your thyme leaves. Same thing, 1/4 of a teaspoon. And you can add your bay leaves now, maybe 3 to 4 bay leaves. Go ahead and stir that up. Oh, it's starting to smell so good. And then we already poured our wine in, and I also poured myself a glass. So go ahead and take you a sip of some red wine. It does the heart good. Okay. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna add your meat back in. Now the last thing you'll do with the frozen peas and the corn, after we start our Instapot, we'll add that last, because that only takes 2 seconds to cook. So as you see, 8 cups of beef broth was enough. I don't need any more. I just want to make sure my Instapot was filled all the way up. So go ahead and stir that around. After you've added your meat back in. And what you're going to do now, so we're still on the saute session. Let's drink another sip of wine while we wait for it to heat up a little bit. Let's wait for it to heat up a little bit, get like a slight boil, and then we're going to turn the pressure cooker on. Y'all sleep on this Aldi's wine too. It's very delicious. It's winking out, and it's good. Oh, and I think I'm going to add a couple of fresh rosemary, because I had bought some. So we're gonna add, I'm gonna add 2 sprigs of it. You don't have to if you don't want to, and we'll take it out after it's done. It just adds more flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and let this heat up for a couple of minutes. And then I'm gonna tell you what time I put it on my Instapot, my pressure cooker I should say. I'm always going to refer to this as an Instapot because that's what most people know, but it's a pressure cooker. And a lot of brands make them, but Instapot I guess is the most famous, so that's why we always use that. So we're gonna let that go for a couple minutes, and then we're going to start the pressure cooker. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so it is starting to boil a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn off our simmer. Not a simmer, our saute. And we're going to put it on soup. On my deep fryer, good lord. We're gonna put it on soup. On my pressure cooker, my soup button is, where is it? Two. So we're gonna put it on two. And we're gonna press start. And then we're gonna go ahead and get our top and seal it however you have your pressure cooker. Now this can be done on the stove. It's gonna take a little bit longer. On here, it's gonna take about 45 minutes. On the stove, it'll probably take you about an hour and a half. And you wouldn't add your potatoes until after an hour. But since we're doing it in the pressure cooker, we add our potatoes all together. And we're gonna go ahead and start the pressure cooker. So I will come back when the pressure cooker actually starts to start. So we just started warming it up. I'll be right back. Okay, so now the pressure cooker just popped up and the little red dot is up. And so now the pressure cooker is going to take about 30 to 35 minutes to cook the actual beef stew. So we'll come back and we're going to do a quick release so that we can add our sweet corn and green beans. So we'll come back in about 30 minutes when this has fully pressure cooked. Alright guys, the pressure cooker has ended, and now we're going to do a quick release by turning the knob on the quick release button, letting all the steam out so that we can add our corn and our peas. So that's the quick release button. As you see, some of my liquid is escaping, but that's okay. I'd like to have my Instant Pot filled all the way to the top, but we'll just wipe that off. Okay, we are taking the top off of our Instant Pot, and the soup is bubbling and boiling. So now what we're going to do is just give it a good stir to mix it all up. It's looking delicious. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to eat. But first, now we got to add our frozen corn, and then we're going to add some frozen peas. Once again, I don't measure. I just dump it in. Don't dump all the whole bag in there. Just maybe like almost half the bag. And then we're going to put our peas in. Same thing. I don't think I put as many peas in, but you can put as many or as little as you want. And you don't have to just have corn and peas. You can add green beans. You can add whatever you like, celery, whatever you like. I just put what I like in my beef stew, but feel free to add what you want. Now for a little extra thickening, I'm using a slurry, which is 1/4 cup of beef broth and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And what this does is just thicken it up a little bit because I did stretch it. All right, so we're gonna stir that all up so it can get nice and hot with the pressure cooker still going. Now you're gonna just pick out the bay leaves that you may have put in there, and then the rosemary stems that where the rosemary came away from the stem. Just pick those out, and basically we are ready to go. We're gonna finish up with the final results. All right, guys, thanks for watching. This is our final result of our Chicago Blizzard home style beef stew. I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And I hope to see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.